Hello and welcome to Pass and Pearls, my channel where I talk about all of my passions. In today's episode we will be talking about finished objects, work in progress, among which I have patterns by Knitatude and all kind of Itska, Aradia toys. We will be talking about my emotional support chicken, whose name is Hermelinda. Then we will be talking about what I've been up to in May and what are my plans for June. Let's get started. If you're new here, you're very welcome, and if you are a returning viewer, thank you very much for coming back. Come here, baby. Hello. This is episode 3 of my Fiber Arts podcast. Let's start with what am I wearing today. Today I am wearing an easy eyelet yoke dress by Knitatude. So Knitatude is really featuring in today's episode. And let me just quickly show you what it looks like, and I'll also put a picture. So it has this flared skirt, then it has an elastication here, and then it has the details of a yoke, a round yoke with short rows at the back. And since it's DK cotton, I like to wear it with an underskirt underneath, which is an underskirt I bought. I didn't make it. This is a simple cotton underskirt, and I found this place that makes them. So I've got a few. This is just a straight one. I've got some that are actually nice and create some nice bulk in the skirt, which are really nice. You will find I will obviously link my project on Ravelry, and you will be able to find my project from there with some pictures. They're not great pictures, but at least you can see a little bit of the dress, probably a little bit better than here. And when I made it, I think I made it in 2020 actually, and I used 6mm needles, and I used 12 skeins, which is about 600 grams because they were really small, of hooked soft cotton decay. And the colorway was Dublin Blue, which is this, I don't know, it's kind of a pastel baby blue. It's really a light blue. I really like it. Let's start with finished objects. So in May, I've done a few things, but I've only finished one object, which you've already seen in the previous episode, and it's Zelda the zebra, and I will put a picture here because I don't have it anymore. So just after finishing it, I gave it to the recipient, who is the son of my partner's cousin. And he's a toddler. He is about a little bit less than a year and a half, I think about 16 months now. And so I made for him, as you saw in the previous episode, a hat, a hippo, and a zebra. So the zebra is done with golden color and green color. Zelda the zebra is a pattern by Elisa's Crochet, and she has it for free on her blog, or you can also purchase it to have a PDF version without ads. To make the zebra, I used a 5.5mm crochet hook, and I used 64 grams of Stylecraft Super Chunky, and I used 24 grams of James C. Brett Top Value Chunky. That is my only finished project, but I have very good progress in my WIPs, in my work in progress, so let's move on to that section. My first work in progress is the poncho with sleeves, which you've already seen in the previous episodes, and I am making it for my aunt, and the yarn is hers. So it's all yarn from her stash. And here is the poncho with sleeves. So I made really good progress with it because I finished the never-ending sleeve, and I'm really pleased about it. I also did a nice, well, you can't really see because it's black, but I also did a tubular bind off, which I think always does a really nice finishing whenever you have rib. This is 2x2 ribs, so it's not as good as 1x1 when you cut it off, but still nicely looking, fairly stretchy, and I think is really nice. So this is what it looks like now. So it has the neck, slightly turtle, and then it has the shoulders here, and then the sleeve. So next I am gonna continue the body. So I am holding the black double at the body, whereas for the rib, so the neck and both sleeves, I only held it single, because obviously a rib is always, I always find it a little bit thicker and bulkier, so I think it is gonna work better with it being single. Obviously it took way longer than I would have liked, but I'm really happy with the finish of it. So to do the neck and the sleeve, I've been using a 3.5mm needles, and for the body I am using a, I think it's a 4.5. And for the body I'm using a 4.5mm needles. So next, I don't want to start the other sleeve immediately, because it's gonna take me forever, whereas for the body I know I'm gonna be pretty quick, so it's gonna be pretty quick progress, very mindless knitting, and is quite bulky because I'm gonna hold it double, so this is like a DK, I think, when you hold it together. So I'm gonna finish the body and then I'm gonna work the other sleeve. Obviously in the plan I'm aiming to finish this one by June. However, even if I don't finish it by June, I have a couple of weeks that I can still work on it in July, because I am going to go home to Italy to see my family for a wedding in July, mid-July. I have June and a couple of weeks in July, so that makes me actually comfortable. So I don't think I will finish it in June, but hopefully it will be done for July so I can give it to my aunt. The second work in progress is something that I've never shown here on the podcast, and it is a blanket. So it's a metered square blanket. I've been doing squares for a while now, and I really want to get this one going again this year, and I want to finish it before the end of the year. The blanket is for my stepson, who actually requested it, and yes, I really want him to have it before the winter so he can have a nice handmade blanket, and I'll show it to you. I'm making the blanket in these two colors. This is like a teal, and this is a white, off-white. Both of them are Aran weight, and they are Aran 7525 from Aldi, and they are so 75% acrylic and 25% wool, which makes it really nice and warm, but still good for a blanket, so it can be thrown in the washing machine without worrying too much, and also good to give to an 18-year-old, knowing that he will be able to take care of it. I am using straight needles, and actually these are personalized needles. Let me show you actually. Let me tell you first, these are 5mm needle. They are bamboo, and they are personalized, and they say Laura's weapons of choice. And it was a present a few years ago, and they were done, I think she bought them from not on the high street, and she had them engraved with my name and the little personalized sentence, which I found was really cute. So I've been using this for this project. Let me show you the squares now. If you're not familiar with a metered square, this is what it looks like. This is in the white, and this is in the teal. So obviously you cast on all of the stitches from here all the way here, and then when you start working on it, you do it slightly different in the central stitch so that it creates this ridge. So you decrease every second row, and then it creates this ridge, and then you slowly get to the end, and then you basically don't even have to cast it off, which I really like actually. Is one thing I really like about these squares. So I have a few, and I think I made probably 5 or 6 in May, and I can tell you I have, let me count them. I have 11 of the white, and 9 of the teal. So this is the teal. And usually, from what I've seen, the meter square blankets are attached in this way. So they're attached so that they kind of create, with the ridge, they create just vertical, not vertical, they just create a line that is continuous. So I want to create some sort of diamond shape with the ridge. So this is what I want to do. I'll put a picture so that I can show it a little bit better, but the way I want to put them together is like this. So obviously alternating the colors, and then doing so that at every corner 2 of the ridges meet each other, so that then they create 1, 1, and then 3 and 4 of these diamond shape. I've never seen it done like that. I'm sure it has been done many times, but whenever I see a picture of it, it's never like that. And I think it's gonna be fun done like that, because there's not only the square done by the colors, but also done by the ridges of the pattern. I'm not following any pattern for it. I'm just putting together squares in the way that I like. So there's no pattern attached, but I'm sure that you can, if you want to do a meter square blanket or a meter square cushion or even a garment, you can surely find some patterns for it. These 2 work in progress have been started a while ago, so I am continuing them. I think I started a poncho about a year ago, and the blanket, I started it at least 3, probably 4 years ago, maybe even 5. Whereas these other one, the next 2, I started them this month, so they are brand new for the month. In this bag, which is an Alice in Wonderland bag, I think is really love this bag, and it's nice and big. This is the braided bralette by Knitatude, and I started it in cotton merino. Let me show you. Yes, so it's in cotton merino classic, colorway 117, which is this, what do you call it, powder blue? I think, yeah, some kind of powder blue. There's some grayish in it. I started it, it is growing really nicely, so there's all, I'm gonna do it a little bit longer. She's got 2 versions, one that is quite cropped and one that is a little bit longer so that it can touch your natural waist. I think I'm gonna do the longer version because I think it's gonna suit me better. So this is cotton merino, so it has a nice fresh feel to it without it being too cold, so I can use it also mid-season. I can use it maybe with a t-shirt underneath or a shirt, so that it's gonna provide an extra warmth without it being too warm if I decide to wear it when it's a little bit, when it's kind of summer. I don't expect to wear it when it's really hot summer, obviously. I've got other lighter things, but when it's probably a little bit like today, probably it's gonna be nice to wear. Today is really rainy, by the way. It just stopped just now, and there's a little bit of sun kind of like, poking out from the clouds. So it's been terrible today, and despite it being the beginning of June, actually horrible. Anyway, the braided bralette is this, and yeah, I'm doing fairly good progress with it. Obviously, I'm not prioritizing it because I've got other things that I really want to finish, the things that have been going on for a while, such as the poncho. But this is a quick knit, and it is fun. So this is the one that I'm doing when I don't really feel like doing the other things. So when I want to do something fun, I'm doing this at the moment. Braided Bralette by Knitatude, and I'm using 5mm needles for it. Then my last work in progress, which I started literally the last day of May when I went to my crochet club, is the sheep from Minecraft. And it's a pattern by Olka Novicka by Aradia Toys. She does all of the most wonderful toys, dolls, and amigurumi things. They're really, really very detailed, they look so neat. I don't think I will ever be able to reach such neatness, but I'll try. So this is my second sheep. I've done the first one in cotton for my stepson. I think it was 2 years ago, must have been 2 years ago. And so this other one is for my nephew, who is now 8, just turned 8, and has just started playing Minecraft. Just, how do they call it? The one where you don't have to, the part of it where you just build things for now. So I told him, well, I'll make you, if you like it, I'll make you some of the characters. And he was like, oh my God, yes, thank you. So I started the sheep. I know it's not everyone's taste, but I think it's an interesting shape. So this is the body, so the belly basically of the sheep. And I'm using Stylecraft Decay, and it's a blue. This is a leftover from stash, so perfect stash busting. So all in trend with what my goal for the year is, and I'm using a 3.5mm hook. Obviously I would normally use a 4mm for decay, but I want it to be as tight as possible because it's not cotton, it's acrylic, and it's a little bit more elastic than cotton, and I really want it to be nice and tight. So, and I think is working out quite well. So this is the body, so I did a rectangle for the body, and then you start going up. Now I'm working in the round. You start going up to the rectangle. Sorry, it's really difficult to show you because it doesn't have much shape at the moment. There. So when you finish, so the body is gonna be this stuffed rectangle, and then you will add the other details. So I think I've done these actually all in one evening, which is quite surprising. No, in one evening, in 2 evenings pretty much, but the second evening wasn't a full evening. Then obviously I want to make more from Minecraft, and I want to make it before I go to Italy in mid-July. So let's see if I'm able to do that. That's a very ambitious plan, I know, but these are fairly quick to make. So if I put myself into it, I can make them in really just a few days. So let's see. So this is the beginning of the sheep from Minecraft by Olka Novicka. Next, let's have a little recap of my roadmap for the year, which I am calling Yarnmap. So my Yarnmap for 2025. If you've missed my stash organization series, please have a look below. I've put it together in a playlist, and in the last episode that I published about a couple of weeks ago, I have organized everything in a yarn map. So by month, I have put my wish list of what I want to start, progress, and finish on that month. And let's have a look at which point we are with the yarn map. You want to come up, Loki? Come on, up, 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 up. Come on, up. Good girl. There you are. Both April and May are on track. Everything that I've shown, yes, Loki, good girl. Everything that I've shown you today was in the plan, and so I wanted to finish Zelda the Zebra. I wanted to start the bralette and the Minecraft sheep, and I started them, and I wanted to continue the poncho and pick up progress with the meter square blanket, which I've done. And the poncho with sleeves, I really wanted to finish the sleeve by end of May. I finished it on the 1st of June, but I finished it. So sleeve is done. Yes, look. Sleeve is done, and that was my aim. Good girl. Yeah, you can see. And we know my yarn map means I am gonna use yarn from stash, and I'm not gonna buy any yarn apart from advent calendars and yarn in May, if we don't count the 2 advents that I purchased, which haven't arrived, will not arrive until November, so they don't count as yarn in. So yarn in 0 in May, and yarn out is 88 grams, which is the total of the yarn I've used to complete Zelda the Zebra. Obviously, I have used yarn for the work in progress, but I don't know exactly how much yet, because I will just do them. I think just to make it easy for myself, I will just make the measurements just at the very end when I finish the projects. Then that will just count for the month I finish the project. So yarn out, 88 grams for Zelda the Zebra. And now I really want you to meet Hermelinda. I know some people have noticed Hermelinda and talked about her in the comments, and she is always here overseeing my crafting, and she is an emotional support chicken. So I use the classic emotional support chicken pattern by Annette Corsino, and it was a proper stash busting project. Sorry Loki, I need to put Hermelinda on you. There. It was a proper stash busting project, as you might see, especially in her head. I used a total of 701 grams, so more than 700 grams of yarn went into Hermelinda. So here you can see her full body. This is her face, big eyes staring at you right now, and this is the body. This is the other side of the body, then obviously the bottom. So I'll put the pictures of the progress, is the usual progress from it. I also put some pictures of Loki wearing Hermelinda before I closed it up, because it's literally bigger than my dog, who is actually now a little bit overwhelmed by Hermelinda. So it was, obviously everyone knows, I'm not going to talk about the pattern because everyone knows everything about the emotional support chicken, and it's a very, very fun pattern. This one is knitted. I know that she also released a crochet version, but the original one was knitted. Obviously the original pattern is made with, I don't know which weight of yarn, probably a DK, and is made for a chicken that is chicken size. However, when I decided I wanted a turkey sized chicken, and so my giant turkey sized chicken named Hermelinda, that's what she is. But she's still a chicken. She's still a very sweet chicken. It's a very good talking point, trust me. So what did I use? You can go on my page on Ravelry if you want to see all of the yarns I use. However, I can tell you that you see the pink, the yellow, the beige, and the orange, they are all bulky yarn from Aldi. Obviously, quite early in the pattern, I realized that that was not going to be enough. So I went out and took out other yarns that I had left over. I had just catalog leftovers when I started it last year, so I think, yeah. So I went out and I picked them up. You can see all of the yarn, putting together the yarn doubling in all its glory on the belly of the chicken and on the head of the chicken. So there's plenty of leftover yarns, and I hate having leftover yarn. So this was really good because I started obviously putting together 2 yarns to make it super bulky. I think this is super bulky. Then I ran out of those. When I was running out, I would add another one. Then I had to start using like Aran. So I used like 3 of them. I was just eyeing the thickness. Then I think at a certain point towards the end, I was actually holding together 5 yarns. Some of them were like decay, some of them were even fingering weight. So yeah, and I think that actually gave a really, really cool effect to Hermelinda's face. Yeah, and actually, yeah, Yanni, my partner, he liked this effect of putting together yarns for the face so much that he said that next jumper I make for him, he wants it made only in this way. Okay, let's put Hermelinda back. Good girl. What have I been up to in May? So May was a little bit of a busy month work-wise. However, there were 2 bank holidays, so I had a little bit more time for crafting, and also the weather until the last bank holiday. Between the 2 bank holidays, the weather was really good. So yeah, I was working, but it was really, really nice. So we had really nice weekends, really nice walks, and I use some of the time also to start doing my, what I call my change of wardrobe, because I live in a tiny flat. I have lots of clothes and also lots of woolen things. It always takes me a little bit of time. It's a little bit of a process to open the boxes of summer stuff or winter stuff while I wash everything else that needs to be washed. So I try to do it slightly in phases, but it's still difficult because I don't have much space then where to put things. Now I only have 1 pile of coats, and today I've actually washed all of the handmade woolies. These are the last things that I need to put away, and when they will be dry, it's not the best day because actually it's been raining the whole day. I was hoping for a bit of a better weather, but you have to do what you have to do, and when they will be ready, then I will be able to finish the change of season, and my flat will be looking like a flat again, rather than a probably clothing or wool warehouse. So that actually has kept me busy in the evenings and some of the weekends for sure. But I've also had time to go and do my volunteering at the weekend. I've been there every Saturday in May. And I have also been to an artisan fair, which was in one of the best weekends that we had. So it was really nice and hot. So I had some food. I think it was a Korean food truck. So I had a nice, really, really nice Korean chicken. Really spicy, but it was nice. And then I had a lovely ice cream. Nice, just sitting there in the sun, eating the ice cream. And in this artisan fair, they had the most beautiful things. There was lots of food, lots of artisan gin and other alcoholic beverages that they were keeping trying to let you try them. Last year I went with a friend and she said, "Ooh, let's try everything." And by the time we reached the end of the artisan gin, we were both quite, let's say, happy. And I think it's really easy if you get all of the tasting that they offer you, because some of them are really generous. This year I didn't, because I was really hungry actually, and it took me, the Korean food truck was at the very end, so I had to walk through all of it before I could reach the Korean truck to eat. So I only wanted to eat, to be honest, and then I only wanted the ice cream, which was my first ice cream of the season. So yeah, it was lovely. And then there were lots of, like, I think there were a couple of stalls with a lady that had handmade clothes, like hand sewn, well, with a machine, but handmade dresses and clothes, and they were beautiful. And then there was one stall, and I think I saw it last year too. And this girl, she makes the most amazing amigurumi. They were all sort of super tiny key hangers, and then characters from Super Mario Bros, character from other video games. They were so beautiful, and she does put out a little sign saying, "Oh, this little keyring took me 30 hours to make." So I think, which I also think is really clever to justify the price, because I know I've done a couple of small, like, village fairs with a friend here where I live, and the people really do not understand. And do you have any experience of actually selling your handmaids, like handmade toys, crochet toys, or garments even? Did you experience that too? Do you experience that it is difficult to make people who actually are not crafters or makers, also to make them understand how long it takes? That is not just the cost of the yarn, which sometimes is also expensive, because even just the chenille yarn is not cheap. But it's also all of the time that you put in it, and the skills. Let's not forget the skills. It takes years to reach a certain level of skillfulness. So yeah, do you have any experiences of that? Let me know. I'm really curious, because I can't. Oh, yes, Loki. Yes, Loki. I can't say we gave up, but for now we put it on pause a little bit, because it was a little bit disheartening actually. One barely ever buys anything, and the children wanted to buy maybe the crochet toys, and the parents are like, oh no, that's way too much. And actually we priced them fairly low for what it was. So yeah, let me know. I have one purchase to report, and it is not yarn. It is kind of yarn related, because I'm gonna put yarn in it, and I made it at the artisan fair. So there was a stall that was doing these wonderful baskets. So these are baskets from Ghana and are made in Ghana. I kind of fell in love with the pattern at the bottom of these ones, that obviously you can also see on the inside. And I really could immediately figure having my yarn in it and going around the house with this, or even outside, sitting in the garden or at the park with this and my yarn. So I've seen these, I don't know if it's the same stall, but I've seen these Ghana handmade baskets at a few different yarn fairs, and I love them, but every time obviously I've already bought other things when I'm at the yarn fair, so it was never the right time to buy it. And since I haven't bought anything in May or in April also, apart from the advents, I thought it would be a good chance, a good excuse to buy this basket. And let me just show you. The leaflet is Gifts by Ruby Asi. And they have all sorts of baskets. This was one of the smallest. They have even smaller ones, which probably you can just put, like, you can use it like a yarn ball, like with just one skein. I have a yarn ball and another yarn holder. So I wanted to keep a whole project in it, like a small project, but yeah, so that it's this one. And I chose this one. I mean, I could have bought more, but obviously one is plenty. And lastly, what's next for June? I want to obviously continue working towards my yarn map for the year. And according to my yarn map, my crafting plans are finish the bralette, which is not long to finish the bralette. However, I don't know if I will have enough time, so we will get back to that. Stay tuned to the next episode to see if that will really happen. Finish the poncho, and as I said earlier, if I don't really finish the poncho, I want to finish definitely the body and get going with the second sleeve. I want to finish at the very latest by mid-July, so that is kind of a hard deadline. And then I wanted to finish all of the Minecraft characters. As I said, as you saw, in less than 2 evenings I've done quite a bit, so they're fairly quick to make. However, again, I don't know how much time I will have to do it, so I still want to finish all of them by mid-July, but definitely I'm gonna finish the ship. I hope to be able to start and get going good progress with the zombie. So at least if I'm really delayed with it, I will have two characters, two whole finished characters, which I think is gonna be acceptable for my nephew. And then, as if that was not enough, I also wanted to start 2 new projects. Just get them started, to get them going in July. One of them is a sheep safety blanket, which is another pattern by Elisa's Crochet. and I'm using chenille yarn, various chenille yarn, and I want to finish that by September, so I wanted to start it as soon as possible. But let's see, maybe at the very end of the month I will be able to start it. And then I wanted to start a knitting project, which is a revamp cowl, which I want to finish by the end of July. So obviously, it's ideally I need to start it in June. Again, it's a very ambitious list, so I don't know. Stay tuned, watch the next episode to know what I was able to make in June. I accept bets. No, I'm joking. I will not accept bets, but let me know in the comments if you think that I will be able to do, how much of my plan I will be able to accomplish in June. And that's it. We are at the end of the podcast. So thank you very much again for being here with me today and for watching the whole episode. And again, any question, let me know. I have my email, past.pearls@gmail.com. There's also my Instagram that I'm going to link below. And let me know also in the comments if you have any questions. I will be happy to answer. Yeah, what was on your needles in May and what's on your needles in June? Do you have any plans? Are you going on holiday? Are you going to take knitting with you on holiday or crocheting? What do you usually do? I know some people switch to crochet in summer, some people don't. Some people actually start their Christmas or gifting knitting in June or July. So what do you usually do? Let me know in the comments. If you liked what you've seen, please remember to subscribe, put a thumbs up, and turn on the notifications so you will be notified every time I publish something new. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye. Top value chunky, which is the yellow one. No, that's the green one. Who cares about that? I'm just putting together squares from a meter square. So like a square, like, how do you say rombo? Rhomboidal? Rhomboidal? Diamond. And I used 64 grams. Oh, hello, Loki. Oh, no, let's continue. Okay, you want to go there? You can go there.